Before we get into the specifics of sleep and talk about why sleep is so important, I do want to share with you a story. There was a pro guy it was actually my first year with the Twins. The guy was coming off TJ, he had the surgery, he was back to throwing on the mound, and things were going pretty well, other than this forearm tightness that just would not go away. We would try everything. We modified his throwing plan. We gave him a small deload. We talked to the strength and conditioning guys, everybody on the performance staff, put our brains together to try to help this kid reduce this tightness that was constant every time that he would stop throwing. We couldn't figure it out. So one day we were talking and he told me that his Aura ring, which these can be pretty helpful, constantly told him that he wasn't recovered. And I was like, dude, how do you sleep? He's like, dude, I sleep a ton. He's like, I sleep 10, 11 hours. And I was like, listen, man, maybe there's something going on with your sleep in general. Long story short, we sent him to a sleep specialist. He got a sleep study done. Turns out he had moderate to severe sleep apnea. He got a CPAP, airway pressure machine that essentially helps you to sleep and keep your windpipe open while you're sleeping. And guess whose tightness went away? So this is a really good story to highlight exactly how important not just the amount of sleep you're getting is, but how important sleep quality is. That doesn't mean if you don't feel rested in the morning that you have a sleeping disorder, but it does mean that if you try all of these things, maybe a visit to your doc is in the conversation or something that you could consider. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, everybody has sleep apnea or anything like that, but it's in this scenario, in this case, it was something that was impacting him. And as soon as we fixed the problem, we fixed his tightness. I don't have to tell you how important sleep is because other athletes, professional athletes at the top of sport have said this. You can pause this and read all the quotes, but Michael Phelps, Bryce Harper, Tom Brady, all these guys have told you, Usain Bolt, all these guys will tell you, all these athletes will tell you, sleep is one of the most important recovery tools in their bag. It's the most important recovery tool in their bag. But these are big picture sleep definitions and how it can help athletes perform better, recover better, and stay healthy. Okay, so we'll start by just defining circadian rhythm. A circadian rhythm is just your sleep-wake cycle. What time is your body used to going to bed? What time is your body used to getting up? When you sleep, the reason that this is so important in general is because it's when you store memories. It's when your body heals. It's when your body regulates your metabolism. It's when your body grows. There are so many things that happen at the brain level, at the cellular level, at the heart level. So much recovery happens when you sleep that this is not something that's optional. Anyway, that's my soapbox, but let's get into the specifics. So the National Sleep Foundation actually recommends that teenagers, adolescents, sleep 8 to 10 hours per night. Some teenagers will actually need 11 hours straight of sleep. Now, that's not everybody, but most kids that I talk to, most athletes that are in that 18U bucket, they really just get 6, 7 hours of sleep, which is nowhere near enough. You need at least 8 to 10 hours at a time. And there is some biological evidence that teenagers are less awake in the morning time and they tend to be more awake and have trouble falling asleep in the evening time. It's just something that naturally happens when you're in that age range. You need to get at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep, but quality of sleep matters too. I really believe this. Sleep is the number one PED that's underused and underutilized. And I say that because in this massive survey they took of professional and semi-pro athletes, they found that 0% of athletes reported having or getting too much sleep. Sleeping less than 7 hours, it almost doubles their injury risk. I talked about mechanics and I talked about shoulder mobility and shoulder strength and all of the baseball risk factors specifically. Nothing touches how much your injury risk skyrockets more than not sleeping enough. When you don't get enough sleep, it affects you as an athlete. Your reaction time is slower. Your mood is worse, so you don't want to listen to what coach is saying. When you're not sleeping enough or your sleep-wake cycle's totally off, it's harder to be hungry in the morning. Your mental processing is different. So if you're working on new installs or you're even working on skill work, like you're trying to throw a new pitch or you're trying to change your swing, that stuff takes processing time. And if you're not sleeping enough, you're not recovering enough, you are not taking advantage of your body's ability to do all those things for you as an athlete. So let's start with some hacks. And really, these aren't hacks. These are scientific-based rules when it comes to sleeping. Number one, if you feel like you got to nap all the time, there's probably a bigger issue you need to back up and deal with. And it's probably not sleeping enough. Now, once you've gotten to the point where you feel like you're getting 8, 9 hours, maybe even 9, 10 hours, number one is naps. We've seen through the science that 15 to 20 minute naps are okay. Don't sleep longer than 15 to 20 minutes. This is a tough one, especially when you're a younger athlete, but try to avoid heavy workouts 2 to 3 hours before bed. We've seen that does tend to mess with sleep cycles. Just keep that in mind. You're not totally in control of your workouts, but if you're a college athlete, professional athlete, keep that in mind. This is one that people don't think about. If we're talking a sleep-wake cycle, the most important thing about a cycle is having a routine. So if you're setting an alarm not just to wake up, but if you set an alarm to go to bed or start to get ready for bed, start your nighttime routine at the same time every night, set an alarm, start doing that now. When you sleep, this is going to be tough if you live in a household where people run a little colder in general, but it is recommended to sleep between 60 and 65 degrees. If you can't do that, invest in a mattress that will allow you to reduce that topper, that mattress topper, and you can drop that temperature. That way you don't have to make everybody in the house sleep that cold if they don't want to. This next one is big. Circadian lights are clutch. If you have issues sleeping, I would get a blackout curtain and I would throw one of these lights on if you can afford it. Now, we talked about the sleep-wake cycle. The sleep-wake cycle is based on, or at least it has been based on for, thousands of years at this point, on light and the sun. The reason that it's easier for you to wake up with a good circadian light is because your body's natural rhythm will start to wake you up 2-3 hours before it's actually time to get out of bed and you don't feel as groggy. If you get these circadian lights that you can use, then at 5 a.m., the light kicks on ever so slightly. 6 a.m. gets a little brighter. 7 a.m. gets brighter. 7:15, it gets to the ultimate brightness, and then you're awake, you're ready to go. Another hack, this is a hack that I've used and I really love it. Earplugs. You won't believe how much noise pollution actually exists unless you're just in the middle of nowhere farm town like I grew up. Throw some earplugs in. It's going to make you feel like you're floating. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's dark. It's cold. You're going to fall right asleep. And the most important thing, honestly, so people talk about caffeine and not having caffeine too late, which is true. Maybe 3 p.m. You probably shouldn't have any more caffeine after that. But let your body naturally wake up, because there are chemicals that continue to wake you up in the first couple of hours that you open your eyes. And if you have caffeine too soon, your body does become dependent on that caffeine source and you're just not going to be in a natural rhythm. I'm not saying don't drink coffee. And if you really need it, I get it. I've been there, but try to hold off on the coffee. See if you can get through the 2 hours of your day before you start hitting those stimulants. And this is the big one. Everyone watching this, listening to this, reading this, I'm looking at you. Put your phone down at least an hour before bed. That blue light impacts your sleep. Don't be scrolling up until the minute that you fall asleep. If you do all these things again, and I've said this over and over again, there's not one silver bullet to preventing injuries, and the same goes with sleep quality. But if you do all these things, they slowly start to add up over time. You're going to be ahead of it. You're going to get ahead of the competition. It's not one silver bullet. It's 1,000 silver BBs. All right, melatonin. I get this question a lot.